Famous as a destination for spring breakers and some of the nicest yachts you'll ever see, Fort Lauderdale, Florida has long been a mecca for those looking to get away from it all and warm up. Tonight, the Venice of America plays host to a first ever in live sports. It's Camsoda Legends. Hi everybody, I'm Jay Adams alongside Boston Strong, Charles Rosa. Charles, for the first time in history, Camsoda Legends will be doing some very unique things here inside the cage. Virtual reality, there's going to be an amazing set of cameras on the referee's head and that much more. Tell us some of the new innovations that Camsoda is bringing to MMA here tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's the first time it's ever been done. Camsoda Live is doing an online streaming for free, but it's allowing viewers to buy coin and to tip the fighters as the fight goes on. Whichever fighter at the end of the fight has the most tips and coins will receive $200, whichever one has the most. He doesn't have to win the fight, just has to have the most coins. And then in the co-main event and the main event, whichever fighter has the most coins at the end of the fight, which is accumulative throughout their fight, will receive $1,000. So these fighters aren't just fighting, for their fight purse. They're also fighting to entertain the fighters and the people watching, which makes it so interesting.
That is a big-time added incentive. Let's talk about those co-main and main events. In our co-main event, we have Felony Charles Bennett. He's been around since, get this, the 90s he's been fighting, and he's always entertaining, he's always fun, he always brings it inside the cage. You never know what you're going to get with Felony. And a new guy stepping up and wants to make a name off of Felony, and that is going to be Bruce, the Iron Lion Luchmedial. He'll be looking to take some of the humor out of Felony, and Felony's going to he tried to get in his head at the weigh-ins. How was he successful in doing that, and how do you handicap that co-main event?
Yeah, I think so, man. I mean, Bruce is a young, hard-working kid. He trains at Roger Carl's gym. He's training every single day, He is going against a tough veteran, obviously, and Crazy Horse, who's coming in. He's fought all over the world. He's fought in Pride, he's fought Bushido, he's fought in Elite XC. He's fought in all the biggest shows in the world, and he's been successful. He has big wins against big-name opponents. So, really, it's going to be a young, up-and-coming guy against a veteran, just like kind of in the main event. But it's going to be a really interesting one you're not going to want to miss.
Let's talk about the main event and two very famous names stepping into the cage. First, we'll start with Alex the Spartan Nicholson, who has a lot of knockouts in the UFC. Big, strong, dangerous dude. Both his hands are heavy, and this is the biggest and strongest I've ever seen him look. He will be stepping into the cage to face the former UFC heavyweight champion of the world, the Hitman, Rico Rodriguez. What a fight inside a small cage we're going to be looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, definitely, man. Rico Rodriguez, former UFC world champion. You can never count a champion out, no matter how old they are or anything. There's a reason he's a champion. He worked really hard to get there. He's fighting, young, talented, heavy-handed, strong Alex Nicholson. Everybody knows, former UFC vet also. He comes in there to fight. Trains super hard, trains with some of the toughest fighters in the world. UFC vet Mike Perry. And, those are the type of guys that like to fight. And obviously, man, I really think this one's going to be fireworks. These guys are going to go off, and especially inside this small cage, it's going to be really interesting. I think, obviously it's going to be some heavy handing and some hands flying and people flying around, so I'm excited to see it.
Tipping fights, tipping fighters, virtual reality, all sorts of innovations here tonight, and 6 crazy fights inside the cage. Let's get it started. Throw it up to our ring announcer, Mr. Damian Pinto.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and welcome to an action-packed night of mixed martial arts action, all brought to you by Camsoda in association with Team Wolfpack and the great people here at Sway Nightclub, Fort Lauderdale. Are you ready for Fight Night in Fort Lauderdale? Welcome to MMA Broadcast History by Camsoda. This will be the first ever VR virtual reality broadcast of a live professional mixed martial arts event. Make some noise, Fort Lauderdale! Without any further ado, are you ready for some fighting? Let's walk these first combatants into the ring right now. Welcome the blue corner, Christian Inastria.
So making his way to the cage first will be Christian Inastria. Christian Inastria is 5'6", weighs 135 pounds, fights out of American Top Team. He's 1-0 as a pro. kickboxer on
Walking
his
the
feet.
red corner, excuse me, a correction, red corner, James Alexander, come on down.
So Jimmy Alexander, who will be fighting Christian Inastria. Jimmy Alexander is a striker, jits on the ground, and most importantly, took this fight on extreme short notice, 1 day's notice, Charles. You got to give him props for doing that. That is a real fighter there.
Yeah, definitely, man. Jimmy Alexander, he trains at F2 Arena in Gainesville. He's a striker, also, three-time Golden Gloves boxing champion. So, he's one of those type of guys that loves to fight. He's been doing it since he was a kid.
Looking forward to an action-packed fight here. Wants to really make his name here at Camsoda Legends. He knows that there's going to be an awful lot of people watching this show. We've gotten a lot of coverage on all the major MMA websites like SureDog, MixedMartialArts.com, 4 or 5 other big ones where we literally had the splash pages in traditional press talking about how this is a real first in sports in general. You're going to have virtual reality room during a live sports event. This is a real first.
Yeah, this is the first time they've been doing it, man, and this is something that's benefiting the fighters, benefiting the fans, benefiting everybody. I mean, this is something that's never been done. On top of it, they have the virtual reality, so they have the latest technology. They also have the referee head cam, which is something new that nobody's ever seen in the cage. Really taking a lot of new things and putting it in there, and it seems like so far it's looking pretty good.
So there you see Jimmy Alexander getting the Vaseline applied from the American Top Team corner, taking this fight on less than 24 hours notice. He came in, he's 38 years old. He weighed in at 138.2 pounds and
Once again, entering the ring, James Alexander.
Celebrates his
red corner.
Second fight ever. He got a
now entering the ring. Welcome your blue corner. This time for sure, Christian Inastria.
And his opponent will be Christian Inastria. He's 5'6", 100, and there you see some of those unique shots. That was the ref cam, and that was a real cool shot. That camera is on the top of Russ Greenberg's head, and that's going to give us some really good shots throughout the night. So Christian Inastria making his way into the cage. He's kickboxer on his feet, blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and is very much looking forward to this fight. And he's appreciative. He has nothing bad to say about Jimmy Alexander at all. If Jimmy didn't step up on this fight, all the training Christian Inastria did would be for waste. So he's very appreciative that Alexander stepped up for this fight.
Yeah, Christian's a super nice, super tough kid. He trains really hard. I've trained with him at American Top Team in Coconut Creek, and he's one of those guys that works really hard. He's a well-rounded, solid fighter. You said he's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, but I really feel his jiu-jitsu's underrated. He had a really nasty armbar triangle his last fight, and I was super impressed with it. And I've seen him in the gym, man. He mixes it up with some of the best guys in the world. I've seen him doing rounds with Kyoji Haraguchi, the Risen champion, Juan Puerta, Titan FC guys, Jussier Formega, UFC veterans, and this kid, this kid's coming to fight, and from everything I've seen of him, he showed up.
All right, as he takes the cage, we'll take a look at tail of the tape and see how these two fighters match up. And there you see Christian Inastria, James Alexander. Inastria, the younger of the two by far. Close weight, 134.6 to 138.2. Very close on paper, Charles Rosa. Let's get it started.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Fight Night in Fort Lauderdale. Live mixed martial arts action brought to you by Camsoda and Team Wolfpack. We are making history tonight with a fight card called Legends, the first ever virtual reality live broadcast of professional mixed martial arts action. Ladies and gentlemen, these fights are sanctioned by the Florida State Boxing Commission. Your commissioners, Dr. Mark Williams, Dr. Ryan Estevez, Miss Tina Pike, Mr. Marco Lopez, and Mr. Michael Yawak. Your commissioners, your judges at ringside, Gene Waring, Mark Streisand, John Rupert, Robert Timothy Vanetta. Your executive director of the Florida Boxing Commission, Patrick Cunningham, assistant executive director, Timothy Shipman. Your ringside attendant physicians, tonight Dr. David Metz and Dr. Michael Del Franco. Your referees will be in charge of the action, switching on and off, Michael Cardosa and Russ Greenberg, and your man in charge of the timekeeper, the man at the bell, Richard Villazon. All right, fight fans, are you ready? Here we go with our first fight of a scheduled 6-fight night card. This one's scheduled for 3 rounds, and introducing your first fighter out of the red corner. He weighed in at 138 1/2 fighting pounds from Alachua, Florida, wearing the red trunks trimmed in red. Introducing James Alexander. His opponent stands opposite in the corner to my left, from the great fighting city of Hialeah, Florida. He weighed in at 134 1/2 fighting pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, wearing the black trunks, fighting for American Top Team, introducing Christian Inastria. Ladies and gentlemen, scheduled 3 rounds. Here is your referee, Russ Greenberg, with last-minute instructions.
Backstage, I want you to protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Let's have a good, clean fight. Good luck. Touch them up.
Alrighty, so it's 3 5-minute rounds. Jimmy Alexander in the red corner, Christian Inastria in the blue corner. This should be a great way to start off the night. As we unfold here a little bit, maybe you can give us your keys to victory, Charles Rosa.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think Christian definitely will have a huge advantage on the ground. Jimmy is a 3-time Golden Gloves boxing champion, so there's no reason to keep it on the feet. Even if he, can compete with him there, his weakness is on the ground, so that's where he's going to want to take it.
Classic striker versus ground guy.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. As you can see, Christian goes right for the double. If he gets him down, I think he's going to be able to capitalize pretty quickly on him.
Christian holds a blue belt in Jiu-Jitsu at American Top Team under Wilson Govea.
Yeah, Wilson Govea, obviously UFC vet, amazing Jiu-Jitsu. And I think the blue belt's a little underrated for Christian. I mean, I've seen some of his stuff, and I've seen him in the gym, and I've trained with him myself. And I think he's a little bit of a higher level than that, and I think you're going to see it in the fight. He's working his wrestling right now.
Now you can hear the suggestions over the loudspeaker here. you heard that, a spinning back fist suggestion here at Club Sway. That's actually not the ring announcer. That's actually suggestions that are coming in from the folks online. And if the fighter can manage to pull off what the users are asking him to, he gets tips.
Yeah, that's just going to add to his points. And whoever gets the most points at the end of the match is going to get an extra $200. So I'm sure if you do what they say, which most likely I'm not sure that they would because they're just trying to win the fight. But if they do, I'm sure they're just going to get more tip points and have a better chance to win the extra cash.
Yeah, one of the users asked for a spinning back fist. A spinning back fist, but they're on the ground. That's going to be a really tough
Well, I just heard the finish him, and that's good. It looks like Christian's about to get this rear naked choke right here.
He tapped him out. Very nice job. Christian Inastria, early in the first round, taps out Jimmy Alexander. Is that my note?
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner at the 1:45 mark of round number 1. The referee, Russ Greenberg, puts a stop to the action. Winner by submission, Christian Estrella. Congratulations, Christian. Once again, good evening and welcome to Fight Night in Fort Lauderdale.
All right, I'm here with the winner. I'm here with the winner, Christian Estrella. Christian, the Camsoda users have voted, and they vote that you win the bonus. So live, virtual reality fights going on, and they are speaking with you in real time and giving you money as you go. What do you want to say to the users at home that voted to give you an extra bonus tonight?
You know, I want to thank you guys, and I'm always here to put on a show. I'm here to finish fights, and that's what I'm here to do.
That was a great finish. Walk us through the finish, because it was sort of a bit the classic matchup, the stand-up guy versus the ground guy, Alexander being a ground guy. I also know you want to give him props. He took the fight on very short notice, less than a day's notice, so you have nothing but respect for him.
Of course, I have nothing but respect for Jimmy Alexander for taking the fight on 2 days' notice. I've had 4 opponents pull out. You know, I just want to thank everybody that's here supporting me. And as far as the submission goes, you know, I was able to transition to the mount. I thought I was going to drop some ground and pound. He gave me his back, and, you know, I took the neck. That's it.
One more time for Christian Estrella.